It's changing quickly. But one thing that's very interesting, and it took me a long time to figure out, is why there are so few Danish lunch restaurants and lunch venues. Now, in the US and actually a large chunk of the world, it's very common, of course, that you go and you don't necessarily eat lunch at work. You go out and you get an external lunch. And so that means, I think that's a large part of where a lot of America's fast food and business restaurants industry gains their support and is and what it's based upon. What's interesting is here in Denmark, you have these lunch clubs and you have this long-standing tradition that there's either a cafeteria or a free lunch that's included from the workplace or at the workplace. And it makes perfect sense because you end up being much more productive and you're not leaving for an hour or 30 minutes, whatever it is. But it does end up having interesting implications for the city's dining scene overall. And the vast majority of lunch places here in Denmark are kebab or pizza places. So they're kind of tailored to students or tailored to people that are off work. There's a lot of restaurants don't even open until dinner. And the reason for that historically has been, of course, that you're getting lunch at work. And that could be a cafeteria where you pay, or what's even more common, even in a small workplace of 10, 15, 20 people, is that you can sign up for these special lunch clubs or as a company where you sign up for a number of plates and basically you pay a set fee per month. And then you can choose from 30 or 40 different restaurants that then cater lunch in for your employees. The employees then typically pay between 300 and 400 kroner per month for those unlimited meals or for that lunch. So that's partially subsidized by the company, and basically the employees are just kind of paying the tax. So it's this really cool added benefit, and it's kind of interesting when you hear about Google and you hear about these companies in the US that they're doing all this really cool stuff. The food component of it, fruit baskets, also a small little perk, but present at the vast majority of Danish workplaces. So what's interesting is that is starting to change. You're seeing more burger places and more workplaces, or maybe it's just because of tourists and more people working independently and not in larger offices. And so there is now this growing inclination towards venues specifically offering lunch or lunch and dinner. But it's a very new thing in Denmark, and even in the last 4 years since I've been here, I've seen this big shift as lunch culture and eating out for lunch has become increasingly more popular. And it has interesting ramifications as well, because a lot of the places that were providing lunch historically or before were caterers, or they were small smorgasbord shops and things like that would then deliver lunch to workplaces. It wasn't so much that they were operating out of a set location that was open. So it's a very different environment, and if you're coming to Denmark and looking for a place to eat lunch, that's why quite often it will be a challenge to find somewhere and to find somewhere good. And the selection of what's available is much less than you would find in many other countries. Dinner, on the other hand, of course, that's when you get a lot of business dinners and you get a lot of people going out to eat and dining, and that's where you get much more diversity and a lot more options. So hopefully that explains that. I've been told that's something that a lot of people don't think about. It's something I had never heard about until kind of putting two and two together and starting to work here. So one of the many subtle layers of Danish culture. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the Denmark 101 series. I'm always looking for new ideas, so please subscribe, please like the video, please share it, and please